Air pollution can be defined as the presence of toxic chemicals or compounds, including those of biological origin, in the air at levels that pose a health risk. In an even broader sense, air pollution means the presence of chemicals or compounds in the air which are usually not present and which lower the quality of the air or cause detrimental changes to the quality of life.
Air Quantity Index. An AQI is a number used by government agencies to indicate how polluted the air currently is, how polluted it is forecast to become. Different countries have their own AQI standards. Air Quality Health Index in Canada, Air Pollution Index in Malaysia, Pollutant Standards Index in Singapore.
Burning of fossil fuels. There are several harmful gases emitted during combustion of fossil fuels such as sulfur dioxide due to combustion of coal, petroleum and other factory combustibles, carbon monoxide and nitrogen monoxide caused by improper and incomplete combustion and generally emitted from vehicles. Agricultural activities. Ammonia, one of the most hazardous gases. It's a very common byproduct from agricultural related activities. Insecticides, pesticides, fertilizers emit harmful chemicals to the atmosphere. Exhaust from factories and industries. Manufacturing industries, emission of carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, organic compounds and chemicals into the air. Example, petroleum refineries. Manufacturing industries can be found at every corner of the earth and there is no art that has not been affected by it. Mining operations. During the mining process, dust and chemicals are released to the air in massive amounts. Indoor air pollution. Household cleaning products, painting supplies emit toxic chemicals in the air and cause air pollution. Have you ever noticed that once you paint walls of your house, it creates some sort of smell which makes it literally impossible you to breathe?
Illnesses that we may get due to air pollution: laziness, headache, mental worry, lung diseases, asthma, cancer, eye diseases, skin diseases, digestive disorders. Several millions are known to have died due to direct and indirect effects of air pollution. Global warming. By trapping the Earth's heat in the atmosphere, greenhouse gases lead to warmer temperatures with the increase in sea levels and melting of ice from colder regions and icebergs. Displacement and loss of habitat have already signaled an impending disaster. Acid rains. Harmful gases like nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxides are released during burning of fossil fuels. Water droplets combines with these air pollutants becomes acidic. Acidic rain can cause great damage to humans, animals, and crops.
Oh, they got the masks out.
That's interesting, Russell. This is a first on the cricket field for me.
Is it a concern? I'm not quite sure I'd be able to breathe, to be honest, if I was fielding or running around the boundary.
What are they keeping themselves away from? They've been subjected to quite a few runs, 500 for 5. And if you look at real time for Lakshan Sandakan over a period of 6 balls, you can see that it's different levels. It's
Well, Lairugamage. He's walking back gingerly. He looks sick as well. We saw this with with Suranga Lakmal.
The air is really sticky. Yeah, it's really hard to breathe. Yeah, in Germany it's better.
Significant difference between your country and here?
Of course. Yeah, really.
So what do you recommend for Sri Lanka to do?
For a better air?
Yeah.
A better traffic system, more electric vehicles, and maybe not more cars. Yeah, I think that's the best way.
So what are the solutions that are available in Germany for air pollution?
We have our state give us when we want to buy electric vehicle some money. That's good for us because the electrical vehicles will be cheaper. And you don't have the highest price because when you BMW, Mercedes, that's really expensive cars, and also for us. And when we buy an electric vehicle, the German state said, okay, when you buy this, you do something good for the air condition. We will give you maybe 5,000 euros to buy this car. I think that's a good idea. And we, our industry, we don't have, I know the English word for this. That will be less because we try to get our electricity for new pieces. We have more. That's crazy. Solar. We try to we have water hydroelectric power stations. We have a lot of this because that's a good way to get energy, and you don't have smoke in the air like the coal industries or like this one. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
We are part of the engineering faculty of University of Sri
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, we are doing a small research on air pollution in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
So that's why we needed your opinion about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can we use some technology to purify already polluted air?
Now, once emitted to the atmosphere, I think it's a huge area, no? So it's very difficult to clean after you emit. Like it is spread everywhere. What we should do is take measures to avoid emissions. So once it is released to the atmosphere, it's very hard. One thing you can do is plant trees as much as possible. Trees will absorb carbon dioxide and reduce the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And other gases also, they kind of take part in a lot of photochemical reactions. Particulate matter can get deposited in like large particulate matter, they very easily get deposited, but fine fraction, they stay in the atmosphere for a long time. So once emitted, it's hard to clean. So best thing is take as much as measures to control emissions.
Madam, as individuals, what can we do to prevent air pollution?
Yeah, that is the most important thing we should think. that we all should be concerned about the quality of air that we breathe. It is a silent killer because we don't see the gases in the atmosphere. Do we see them? No, we don't see. They are colorless. So we don't know. That's why I told it's a silent killer. So it really affects our health. Now, if we talk about food and water, we are so much concerned about the quality of water we drink and quality of food we eat. Because if the food is spoiled, we won't eat it. And if the water quality is very bad, if the color of the water is bad, we won't drink it. But air, now we consume about 10 kilograms of air per day. So that's a huge amount, but we don't consider it because we don't see the harmful side of it. So at the moment in Sri Lanka, vehicular emissions account for 60% of air pollution in Sri Lanka. So as individuals, I think what we should do is we should try to live with the nature as much as possible and reduce your emissions. As an individual, you should think of reducing your emissions. Like if you want to use a vehicle, probably if it is a short distance, you can walk. And you can, without now, if you are going to travel from one place to another place, you can probably take a private, public, like a bus, right? So if you use a car just for yourself, that means you are emitting a lot of bad gases to the atmosphere. Only you, right? So carpooling is a solution. Like now, nowadays, I think you must have observed during school starting and ending times, the traffic condition is very, very high. Why? Now today, many children are coming on their own vehicle, like one vehicle per one child. So see how much pollutants they are emitting to the atmosphere. So if they can do some kind of a carpooling, or if they can use public transport and reduce the number of vehicles on road, that will be the best solution for pollution caused by traffic emissions.
Madam, what are the solutions for industrial air pollution?
Yes, industrial air pollution is also another important thing, though it is not a major problem in Sri Lanka. It is a major problem in countries like India and China. When you start an industry, normally you have to go through a process called environmental impact assessment, right? So you need to pass through that process to start your industry or the facility. Now the trend here in Sri Lanka, just to pass that, people do show that they are controlling, or they have all the control measures and get the approval, and after that they don't consider it. So that is the main problem to control industrial pollution. There are a lot of air pollution control devices, like now if there are a lot of particulate matter emitted, you can use things like cyclone separators, gravity settlers and bag filters to control the emissions to the atmosphere. And also, if there are a lot of gaseous pollutants, you can have gas absorption techniques to stop releasing them to the atmosphere, right? So if you should have a passion to save our earth, and not so if after you got approval to run your facility, you should probably maintain the standards so that you don't emit. And also government also should have some kind of a regularity way of checking whether their factory comply with the standards that they came up when they implement the factory.
of Sri Lanka compared to the other countries?
Okay, to answer that question, actually we should measure air pollution in the whole country, like probably in main cities. So at the moment there's no routine measurement campaign in Sri Lanka. But when we look at the population density and number of vehicles on road, I would say it's not as high as in countries like India and China, but since day by day, since the vehicle density is increasing, I think the air quality in Sri Lanka is not in a very good status.
So what is the current state in Kandy compared to the other cities?
Yeah, for that, to answer that also, we need to have a good measurement campaign. There had been several studies done like intermittently, like short-term studies, and those studies have revealed air quality in Kandy also is not very good. But to give you a exact answer to your question, there should be a continuous monitoring campaign. At the moment, a group of researchers in Department of Chemical and Process Engineering are trying to implement a continuous monitoring campaign, to locate devices in several locations in Kandy city. It's a long-term monitoring campaign. After we collect data from that study, we can exactly say the status of air quality in Kandy. I don't know whether you know what are the air pollutants, main air pollutants. They are like oxides of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and oxides of nitrogen, nitrogen oxides, nitrogen dioxides, and oxides of sulfur, sulfur dioxide, and gases like ozone and particulate matter. Particulate matter, the harmful fraction is particulate matter less than 10 micrometers, which is called PM10. Those are the criteria pollutants that affect the quality of air in our country. Okay.
Thank you.